Balak is a village located in the sub-district of Pandawarejo, district of Girimulyo, Kulon Progo Regency, special region of Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Balak village has an area of approximately 650,000 square meters and about 30 kilometers from Yogyakarta city. Based on the survey in 2020, Balak village has population of 298 people, consisting of 145 males, 153 females, and 106 families. Balak village dominated by Menoreh Hill, and this village has a variety of potentials such as plantations, livestock, home industries, and tourist areas.
Padukuhan Balak merupakan salah satu wilayah dari 17 padukuhan di Kelurahan Pandawarejo. Padukuhan Balak terletak di bagian sebelah blok utara Kelurahan Pandawarejo dengan luas wilayah kurang lebih 65 hektar dibagi menjadi 4 RT dan 2 RW. Dan batas wilayah Padukuhan Balak sebelah timur berbatasan dengan wilayah Padukuhan Muten dan Jetis, Pandawarejo, kemudian sebelah barat berbatasan dengan Padukuhan Gunturan Pandawarejo, sebelah selatan berbatasan dengan Padukuhan Kepek Pandawarejo, dan sebelah utara berbatasan dengan Kelurahan Purwosari. Mata pencarian yaitu sebagai petani dengan persentase tertinggi mencapai 32%. Kemudian di bagian pendidikan ada pendidikan anak usia dini atau PAUD, Ananda Ceria, dan juga ada madrasah diniyah Takmiliyah An-Nur Duren. Kemudian di bagian kegiatan keagamaan ada seperti acara tahlilan, salawatan, pengajian, dan lain sebagainya. Dan yang terakhir ada kegiatan seni dan budaya, Trenggalek Abu Hashim, selawatan Jawa, serta adanya merti dusun. Nah, di Padukuhan Balak ini mempunyai potensi wisata yang patut untuk dikembangkan, seperti ada di puncak Pelem Gadung, ada di Puntuk Kalongan, dan puncak Gunung Cilik. Serta di wilayah kami, Padukuhan Balak masih adanya satwa liar yang seperti monyet yang sampai saat ini masih membuat resah sebagian warga di perbukitan Balak karena belum ada jalan untuk mengatasinya. Semoga di tahun 2025 mendatang Padukuhan Balak menjadi padukuhan unggulan di Kelurahan Pandawarejo dalam bidang ekonomi kreatif dan kearifan lokal. Mungkin saja sambutan dari saya, kurang lebih saya mohon maaf. Terima kasih.
Balak's residents have various activities to increase their quality of life. These activities are communal work, farming activity managed by Females Farmer Group of Mugi Lestari, raising the special variety of Ayam Jawa Super or Javan Super Chickens managed by Karang Taruna Harjita Muda Menoreh, catfish farming in a bucket, and pond made with tarpaulin managed by the Mina Balong Sejahtera Fish Farmer Group. Posyandu or Pos Pelayanan Terpadu or Integrated Service Post is another activity that is implemented in Balak village every once in a month. Posyandu is an effort to promote the enhancement of nutritional status of mother and her child. It's also intended to maintain their healthiness. During the COVID-19 pandemic, these residents' activities are doing far less than usual. They also do their activities by following the COVID-19 protocol to ensure that the disease is not spreading. To assist the development of this village potential and the residents' activities, OHCC UGM team has done several training and courses with a focus on implementing the function of One Health directly in society. Geographical location of Balak village that lies in the Menoreh Hill, making this village often gets disturbed by wild monkeys. These monkeys make the residents worried because it is said that they can spread some zoonotic diseases to them. Besides that, the monkeys also often ruin the plantation.
Nggih, oh nggih niki terkait nganu napa dampak saking satwa saking munyuk, kethek, berekor panjang niku pripun menurut jenengan? Mengganggu napa?
Ganggu ya?
Ganggu.
Ya.
Biasanya gangguin napa mawon?
Bisa nggak napa-napa nih.
Pokoknya di beberapa ngapa sih jadi seganten iki ora rusak wae.
Apa benar ya?
Nggih, kelapa barang niku.
Dipenek ya.
Wah, nek boleh sembarang apa wae lirik.
Urun.
Oh. Biasanya pinten nganu jumlahe?
Ana ratusan lebih.
Oh nggih to.
Walah,
Walah.
gitu wis.
Apa aspirasi saking warga niki mangke kula tak limpahkan ke kelurahan, ke pemerintahan pusat, muga-muga mangke enten bagaimana cara mengatasi nih, muga mangke ben lek masalah lek ditembak nggih mboten asal to nggih. Mboten asal, terus kena hukuman, terus lek dineke wae yo ngganggu nggih, muga-muga mangke
ganggu anu ya. Petani lah istilahnya.
nggih. Lek selain monyet kira-kira napa mawon?
Kadang ya kidang barang.
Kidang barang?
Ya.
Oh. Lek babi nggih,
Babi saiki jarang.
mun jarang nggih.
Jarang babi. Utamanya itu Pak Duh,
Nggih, paling utama nggih. Minta dukungannya dari warga, terus juga nanti doanya juga semoga nanti bisa tahu bagaimana cara untuk mengatasinya.
Berkaitan dengan konflik manusia dengan satwa liar. Untuk di Desa Mbala ini ada tidak ya konflik seperti itu di sini, Mas Dindi?
Ada antara monyet berekor panjang dengan manusia.
Jenis gangguan yang mereka sebarkan.
Meresahkan warga, banyak sekali mungkin seperti yang disampaikan, ada pisang, ada kelapa, ada buah asem juga sampai dihabiskan, kemudian ada apa sukun, ada gori, apa nangka,
Mangga.
dan masih banyak lagi, ada mangga juga ya.
Iya.
Oke.
Kalau untuk luas lahan pertanian di sini ada perkiraan nggak Pak? Berapa luasnya?
Kebetulan di Pendudukan Bala itu areanya perbukitan, area untuk yang hutan rakyat itu sekitar 30 hektar.
Itu semua diganggu atau hanya sebagian? Ada daerah tertentu Pak?
Kalau saya rasa semua juga diganggu, hanya saja kalau di daerah perbukitan Pendudukan Bala hanya di lokasi Lemah Abang saja yang diganggu karena bersinggungan langsung dengan warga. Nah, kemudian di daerah lain juga mungkin juga dirambah oleh monyet, hanya saja tidak langsung bertemu dengan warga itu.
Dari dulu hingga sekarang jumlahnya bagaimana Pak?
Bertambah dari 50 kira-kira sekarang ada 100-an lah lebih.
Sampai sejauh ini apakah ada masyarakat atau warga yang diserang?
Untuk saat ini alhamdulillah belum ada yang masyarakat yang diserang.
Apa saja yang sudah dilakukan oleh masyarakat, mungkin dari Pak Tutu sendiri, dari masyarakat sendiri, kemudian apakah sudah ada tindak lanjut dari pemerintah, apakah sudah ada laporan dan lain sebagainya?
Kalau yang informasi yang saya dapatkan dari warga yang berdampak langsung dengan satwa liar, yaitu monyet berekor panjang, yaitu biasanya mengatasinya hanya mungkin pakai bunyi-bunyian atau pakai pentongan atau pakai petasan, tapi lambat laut nanti dulu awal-awal bisa untuk beberapa hari tidak datang lagi, tapi lama-kelamaan mungkin sudah terlalu paham dengan mungkin bunyi-bunyi petasan dan sebagainya, akhirnya kembali lagi dengan cepat gitu. Jadi terus saya juga sudah berinisiatif untuk minta saran dari Kelurahan Pendawarejo. Itu beliaunya dari pihak kelurahan juga belum tahu bagaimana untuk mengatasi hal tersebut. Jadi saat ini masih jadi problem yang belum teratasi.
Selain monyet tadi ada lagi Pak untuk konflik satwa liar?
Kalau dari informasi dari warga dari daerah perbukitan Pendudukan Bala, yaitu ada dulu pernah ada kijang, ya babi juga ada tuh, tapi yang bersinggungan sampai hewan tersebut itu sampai ke jalan raya, itu kijang pernah sampai ke sekolah juga ya.
Ya, sampai ke balai desa.
Balai desa. Kemudian sudah ditangkap ke tempat, kemudian ditempatkan di tempat reservasi.
Konservasi ya. Untuk sampai saat ini ada lagi untuk temuan kijang gitu atau jejaknya gitu Pak?
Kalau jejaknya
Kotoran.
belum, mungkin karena sulit ditemukan, jumlah sedikit, jadi biasanya cuma meninggalkan kotoran. Ya, kotorannya.
OHCC UGM is also helping the potential of the plantation area with the planting of toga or tanaman obat keluarga or family's medicinal plant. This planting program is also helping utilizing the area that was empty before and helping the Toga group, which is a program from Grimulyawan Public Health Center. This toga can be made into traditional medicine to keep the residents healthy. In addition, we also have program about processing the livestock waste. The livestock waste is usually turned into biogas, but we think that turning the waste into compost and livestock's fermented feed is more beneficial. This can bring many benefits for the residents, such as fertilizing the soil, giving a new and nutritious feedstock for the cattle, and also preventing zoonotic disease that may have appeared from the waste. Balak Village has implemented the concept of One Health. This is proved by the activities that has been done by the residents to keep the healthiness of themselves as well as the animal and the environment. Public health related activities in Balak Village are Posyandu or Integrated Service Post and planting the toga, which is done by a female scheduler of Posyandu Bakun. Animal health related activities are the making of alternative livestock feed, sanitation of livestock waste, catfish farming, and raising the special variety of Javan Super Chickens or Ayam Jawa Super. For those activities, other than keeping the health of animals, it is also increasing the economic quality of Balak's residents. The implementation of environmental health-related activity is the communal work routine that is done by the residents. However, there is also some conflict with long-tailed monkeys that is still happening in Balak Village, and the public needs a proper solution so that later people and wild animals can live side by side in harmony, and also reducing the potential of zoonotic disease that may be spreading.
What I want to say about One Health. One Health is there are three key messages of One Health. The first one, what is One Health? And the second one is why we need One Health. And the third one, how we implemented One Health in our living now. Talking about the first one, what is One Health? One Health is interspace between environmental health, animal health, and human health. The One Health, there are two bases of One Health. One is the hard skill of One Health, and the second one is the soft skill of One Health. To work together among many disciplines like veterinarian, medical doctor, anthropologist, social sciences, communication, and also economic, wildlife expert. We should sit together and then talk about what is the disease that we can solve together in one solution. So we have facing now a lot of emerging infectious disease like many other diseases that now in the world. There are around 200 emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases like Ebola, Nipah virus, MERS-CoV-2, rabies, leptospirosis, toxoplasmosis, cryptosporidiosis, giardiasis, and other trypanosomiasis, and many other emerging infectious disease. Why is the disease emerging? The disease emerging because of 5 drivers. One driver is because of the dense of population. Now we have 7 million people in the world, and in the 2030 is around 12. They predicted 12 million people, 12 billion people. So that is huge stress for the population, and the second one because of globalization. People can travel many places in one day. Then a lot of people go to the globalization, and the third one is climate change, and the fourth one is food safety. and then industrialization. This is the 5 drivers of emerging infectious diseases. The second one that I want to talk, why we need One Health. Because of this disease, we should have sit together and find a solution to work together among discipline and find one solution, because emerging infectious disease, zoonotic disease is a complex things. If we can not work together, we don't work together, then we cannot solve the problem. And the third one, how we implemented One Health. So right now we have a problem, a big problem, like COVID-19 is infected more than 215 countries already have the disease. And how we should solve this problem? We should map the disease using One Health system mapping analysis resource toolkit that we call that OHA-SMART. So through OHA-SMART, we can map the manpower of the health manpower, and then we can map the capacity of the people and also capacity of the in the region. So the solution, then we can find a solution how to solve the problem. We should sit together, we have a map. This is OHA-SMART, One Health SMART System Mapping Analysis Resource Toolkit. So then, as a conclusion of this One Health, not only for the mapping, but we should take care. We should also be aware with the AMR, emerging antimicrobial resistance, and also antimicrobial misuse to concern, because of many diseases now like TB become multi-drug resistant. So that way we need One Health approach to have a solution of this problem, a complex problem. Okay, otherwise we can have a big problem, chaotic problem, if we cannot use One Health as one of the tool to solve the solution. Okay, thank you so much.
Padukuan Bala! Padukuan Bala!